It's always heartbreaking when a Hollywood star dies, but it especially cuts us deep when a beloved child star passes away long before they should have. Child actors whose lives were tragically cut short include some of the most recognizable names in show business. Each star we'll discuss in this video rose to fame when they were still kids, but chance and circumstance led to their deaths before they got an opportunity to fully pursue what their careers could have become. Join us as FactsVerse takes a closer look at the lives and, sadly, the deaths of several child stars who died way too young. Gary Coleman. In the late 70s and 80s, Gary Coleman was one of the highest-paid child stars in Hollywood. He was perhaps best known for his portrayal of Arnold Jackson on Different Strokes from 1978 to 86. In 1982, he was even given his own short-lived animated series, The Gary Coleman Show. He later voiced the character Kevin in the animated offering Waynehead, which ran from 1996 to 97. While he eventually branched out into film, he was never able to quite recreate the same magic he had found appearing in Different Strokes. By the late 90s and into the early 2000s, he could barely find work and was starting to get desperate. Eventually, the only roles he was able to find were essentially those that made a mockery of his declining image while lampooning himself for the public's amusement. His final film role was in the lowbrow comedy Midgets vs. Mascots, and it received dismal reviews. And it only succeeded in further ruining Coleman's career. Coleman spent his whole life dealing with a debilitating congenital disease that resulted in his short stature. While he underwent numerous surgeries and procedures throughout his life to keep him alive, in 2010 he finally lost his battle with the disease after having several major seizures and suffering an epidural hematoma. He was 42. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to FactsVerse for more. Carl Switzer. Born on August 8, 1927, Switzer was a singer and child actor, best known for his role as Alfalfa in the classic American short film comedy series Our Gang, which you might know as The Little Rascals. After leaving the series in 1940, Switzer found himself typecast and struggled to land any roles of substance. Upon reaching adulthood, he appeared in several B movies, but later gave up acting to become a dog breeder and hunting guide. In 1959, at age 31, he was fatally shot by a supposed friend in a dispute over finances. The shooting was initially judged to be an act of self-defense, but according to witness testimony, which materialized 42 years later, it was more likely murder. Anissa Jones. This American child star was best known for her role as Buffy Davis in the sitcom Family Affair, which hit the airwaves in 1966 and ran until 71. Anissa landed the role at the age of 8, and even while she was a rising star, her life was quite difficult. Her craft required her to work long hours on set, and her education and socialization suffered because of this. After Family Affair wrapped, Anissa tried to find work in film, but never quite found the type of roles she was looking for. Like so many other child stars that came before her and those who would follow in her footsteps, she found herself typecast. She tried to audition for the lead role in The Exorcist in 1973, but that went to Linda Blair. People only thought of her as Little Buffy. In 1972, Brian Keith offered her a role on The Brian Keith Show, but by then, she had already lost her desire to work on TV. Before she was given her career-defining role on Family Affair, Anissa's parents divorced. In 1973, her father was awarded sole custody, but after he passed away, Anissa went to go live with a friend. She then started skipping school and eventually was arrested after her mother reported her as a runaway. After being released from juvenile hall, she lived with her mother. It was then she started doing drugs and shoplifting, and in 1975, she dropped out of high school. A year later, while attending a party in Oceanside, California, Anissa was found dead in a bedroom of a home that belonged to the father of her 14-year-old friend, Helen Hennessy. According to the coroner's report, Anissa died of a drug overdose after consuming PCP, cocaine, Quaaludes, and Seconal, a particularly strong barbiturate. She was only 18 years old. Bobby Driscoll. This child actor, who was best known for his movie and TV roles from 1943 to 60, also met a rather grisly end. Some of his most memorable performances included his roles in the Disney films Song of the South, So Dear to My Heart, The Window, and Treasure Island, while his most notable claim to fame was serving as the animation model and voice talent behind the titular character in the 1953 animated feature Peter Pan. By the mid-50s, however, Driscoll's acting career took a nosedive. The only roles he could find were small guest appearances in anthology shows, and he soon turned to narcotics to ease his mind. After serving a prison sentence for illicit drug possession, Driscoll shifted his focus to the avant-garde art scene. Instead of learning from his mistakes and getting sober, he continued to use drugs, and they eventually started taking a dire toll on his health. On top of that, Driscoll's finances ultimately dried up. On March 30th, 1968, his body was found in an abandoned building in the East Village of Manhattan. Post-mortem examination determined his cause of death to be heart failure, which was likely brought on by his years of drug use. He was 31. Matthew Garber. This British child star is best remembered for his role as Michael Banks in the 1964 Disney film Mary Poppins. He also appeared in two other Disney movies, The Three Lives of Thomasina and The Gnome Mobile, both alongside actress Karen Dotrice. After failing to find success in the industry as a young adult, Garber contracted hepatitis. At age 21, he died in Hampstead, London, of hemorrhagic necrotizing pancreatitis. Scotty Beckett. Beckett was yet another child star who found early success while starring in the Our Gang shorts, playing George Spanky McFarlane's best friend and partner in crime. His signature look consisted of a crooked baseball cap and a baggy, oversized shirt that exposed one of his shoulders. In 1935, his role was taken over by Carl Switzer, who portrayed Alfalfa, and Beckett ended up leaving the series to focus on feature films. He did return to Our Gang, albeit briefly, in 1939 as Alfalfa's cousin Wilbur. After departing Our Gang, Beckett found success appearing in several Hollywood motion pictures. A few of these credited roles included turns in Dante's Inferno, The Charge of the Light Brigade, Conquest, Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, and King's Row. After graduating high school, Beckett took some time off from acting in films to focus on stage work. In 1957, he was signed by MGM and appeared in a handful of hit films such as 1949's A Date with Judy and 1950's The Happy Years. He briefly attended the University of Southern California, but dropped out after discovering that trying to balance working in films while keeping up with his studies was virtually impossible. In 1954, he was cast as Winky, the comedic sidekick in the hit TV science fiction show Rocky Jones' Space Ranger. That became one of the defining moments of his career. Unfortunately, he was fired after being arrested for a concealed weapons charge and for writing a bad check. Beckett then started to drink excessively and developed a gambling problem. After several more arrests on charges ranging from drunk driving to drug possession and passing more bad checks, he was found dead in his home May 10, 1968. Alongside his body were a note and a bottle of pills. While no official cause of death was given, the media reported he had overdosed on barbiturates and alcohol. He was 38. Now it's time to hear from you. Which child star were you most surprised to learn had tragically died? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.